How's it going, folks? It's FlurricatGaming here, back with another video. Today, we're going to be doing something a little interesting. I decided that on the island that I play in my free time, it was looking a little sparse, so I kind of cleared it away and kind of made it a blank slate, and I wanted to do a couple builds with you guys so that you could get some ideas for maybe your islands. We did a little bit of like a water fountain area with some nice trees, some beach access, things like that in this video. So if you want to kind of get some ideas, maybe even build something very similar or even build the exact same thing, this is your place. A lot of people like Tomodachi Life for the building and the character creation, so I wanted to dabble in a little bit of it and share a little bit of that with you guys. Alright, so I started out with a little bit of like a little foundation and a little bit of building around what was at first a big block, a big hunk of land even. I just kind of made the entire island a big square so that I had a little bit to go off of. And I decided that I wanted the water fountain to be kind of off to the side a little bit, like a little cozy area, split apart from the neighborhood and the shopping plazas that I do. So at first I was like, oh, I might just add a little bit of sand around the edge, but then I kind of changed my mind. So I dabbled a little bit in that. And as you can see, I kind of start going, I don't know if I like that. So instead I just used the bucket tool and filled it in with a little bit of clovers and then dabbled around with the cherry blossom tool to add a little bit of texture. Later on, you'll see that some of the texture does go away as I'm filling in the beach, but I decided that I didn't want it just to be kind of a one-off, just do sand or grass or clovers. For this build, you're going to need at least the grass, the clovers, and the cherry blossoms unlocked. So that'll be interesting, and I think that's not too hard in the beginning of the game. My island's like a level 49, 48, so it's not too far off when it comes to where people are at this point. So at this point, I made a little bit of like a cobblestone bridge, and this is where I started realizing, oh, I want to put a path around the water fountain instead of just kind of making it patchy like that. And then I took the street lamps, I put them around there. I realized that the pathing didn't look right without the little like cobblestone around it. I wish you could choose just to kind of keep that border off of it, but I decided, you know what? This doesn't look right. So during all of this, I was using the bucket tool to kind of fill in with clovers again because that's kind of like what I like when it comes to the texture. And then I went in and I was like, you know what? My bees ask a lot for the flower planters. Alright, and then during this spot, I started thinking about adding in some plants, some bushes. I really like the hedges with the flowers on them. I think they're really cool. But I like to stack them with the fences that I have and then just add a lot of shrubbery and some trees. I thought about adding more cherry blossom trees, but it just didn't really fit the vibe except for like a couple of them. And then I started scattering around these baby blue eyes flowers, which honestly are my favorite at this point of the game. I like the tulips a lot too, but something about the blue flowers just were really nice. And then I added this little clock, and I wish you could add stuff in the middle of the water fountain, but you can't. So that's just kind of like a sitting area, I guess, for people to just sprawl out, or if you want to take pictures with the Photopia. I struggled a little bit with the benches here. I didn't know where I wanted to place them. And then when it comes to fences, I like to kind of scatter them around, and I don't like to just outline with the entire border with fences because I feel like it becomes a little bit too cluttered. And then I started realizing that this water bridge had no rails, and I realized that In the real world, we would probably need rails there, so I tried to make it a little more realistic. And then there was me struggling because I didn't realize that I had the rail on the wrong side. Then I added a little bit of beach around it. And this is not a lot of beach. I do go later when I do build and add more to the beaches. But until then, I did add some beach access. I just didn't make it like too much of a beach. In later videos, you will see where I do touch up the beaches. I might actually make a single video on just like what things you can do to kind of spice up the beaches. But don't be afraid to add a little bit of rocks, add some shrubbery, and just kind of scatter them around. Because I feel like there's no way to become way too cluttered in this unless you're like really, really trying to. I do also like to implement the weeds. I know that they can go on paths, and that is the most annoying thing to me is that weeds go on paths, and I can't. All right, so I'm gonna show you the build. And this part is my favorite. We're just gonna do like a little bit of a look into the build. So as we're walking in, we're going to be able to go left and right. As we're heading left, there's some beach access where you can go off to the beach. And then there's a little bit of a water access here. I don't know if I want to expand this out or not, or just keep it like very thin to the edge water line. But I thought it was really nice to see a little bit of the outskirts of this. And then as you go back up the stairs, you're going to see the water fountain. And then you're able to see a little bit of the sitting areas, the clock, a little bit of the flower planters, trees, and just, you know, basic little shrubbery. Make it a little spiced up, you know, not too much clutter, but enough to where it's like, it's very beautiful. And then just a couple seating areas so that your Miis can just sit there and hang out and have conversations and hopefully a cutscene or two. Thank you guys for watching and have a good day. Bye, guys.